All right. Last class I forgot to record, so I want to make sure we're doing that today. All right, now, again, so why isn't this? It's not on what?
It's not on page 2.
Oh, okay, thank you. All right, there we go. Okay, thanks, guys. All right, so again, please listen. We know how to solve inequalities, so we're not doing anything new. Just when you get to advanced math, we don't use number lines anymore. All right, we just don't do that. All right, so as you become more advanced, we say we're going to use interval notation. All right, and what interval notation is just a shorthand notation of the number line. It is a shorthand notation of the number line. So let me see if you understand what I mean. So for question number 1, we're going to graph x is greater than 5. So just like yesterday, I would put -5, I would put 5, I would put open circle, and then we would say we're graphing everything to the right. All right, so everybody take a look at that, and then tell me if you don't agree with that. Anybody have any issues with that? All right, now, we're not using a number line anymore. All right, so let me explain to you what I mean. All right, I want everybody to understand this symbol. What does this symbol mean? Can anybody tell me?
Infinite.
That is right, that's infinity. All right, so there's positive infinity, which just means you start and you go on forever. All right, that's a symbol for infinity. Now we also have what's over here is what? Negative infinity. So when you go to the left, you're heading towards negative infinity. When you're going to the right, you're heading towards infinity. Now I need everybody to hear me. When you read numbers, you always go from small to large. You always go from small to large. So 5 is going to be not including, so it's a parentheses. And then we're going to infinity, which is a parentheses. All right? So your answer is we start at 5 and we go to infinity. That is the shorthand notation for the number line greater than 5. Starting at 5, going at infinity. Are we including 5? No. That's why there's a parentheses. All right? Now, number 2, what?
Wouldn't that just be not an answer though? Because there's no, you can't do 5 times infinity because it's just infinity times 5.
I didn't say 5 times infinity. I said that's 5 to infinity.
I'm sorry, the readers are here.
All right? Now, number 2. All right, so I'm going to look at number 2 real quick. We're going to graph it just like yesterday. 4, -4, solid dot because it's equal to, and then less than would be everything to the left, which is less than. That's what you were supposed to do yesterday, but we're not doing that anymore. You read from left to right. So where am I starting at? Negative infinity. And I'm going all the way to what number? -4. Do I include -4? Is it equal to? Yes. Therefore, it is a bracket, not a parentheses. You use bracket for equal to. Can I go to negative infinity? No. So it's never a bracket. It's always a parentheses. So that is interval notation for negative infinity to -4. Now again, the bracket, for those of you guys who are having hard trouble hearing, is because there is an equal to. The bracket is the equal to. If there is an equal to, it's going to require a bracket. All right, so now let's look at number 3. X is less than 7. So there's 7, there's -7, open circle at 7, and then we're going less than. That would be the number line. But again, we're not doing number lines anymore. So you have to understand, we read left to right. So how far left am I going? Negative infinity. That's how simple it is. Negative infinity all the way to what? All the way to 7. Is it a bracket on 7? No. Never a bracket on infinity. Never a bracket on infinity. All right. Now number 4. Here we go. We're starting at what? And going positive 3, and then we're going solid, and then we're going to the right. Which means we're starting at negative 3 and going to infinity. So again, I'm starting at what?
Negative 3.
And going to what? And then do I need a bracket on negative 3?
No. Or yes.
Yes. There, that's how simple it is, guys.
I'm kind of confused. Are we drawing the number line?
No, we're not drawing the number line. I'm just simply showing you. All right, I'm simply showing you. That's what we did. All right. And what I'm trying to get people to realize is that this right here is the shorthand notation of the number line. That's all I'm trying to show you. Negative infinity to 7, 5 to infinity, negative infinity to negative 4. That's what all that is describing. It's just describing the number line. When you get to advanced math, we don't use number lines anymore. Yes. That no, bracket is because there's an equal to. So look right here, kiddo. See this equal to right there? That's that right there. Say it again. Which one's first? Because you always read left to right. So here's what I'm trying to tell you. This right over here is negative infinity, and this is infinity. Do you understand that? So as you're reading from left to right, are we including these numbers right here? Are we including these numbers? No. You're starting at what? You're starting at negative 3. That's what that is. And you're going to what? Infinity. That's what that is. Right? What?
So the difference between bracket and integral notation is just writing down the infinity sign.
That's a great summary.
Do we also have to write down the
We already answered that.
no?
Of course not. You're not doing both.
It's
All right. Some people prefer the number line. All right. But again, we don't write number lines ever once you're in higher level math. All right. So here we go. We're on number 6 now. Now we're doing everything exactly like this we did yesterday, except this time we're writing it in interval notation. All right. We're not writing a number line anymore. All right. So the first thing I need to do is to do what? Come on, guys. What am I doing here on this first problem? Subtract 2. So everybody should just be able to say 1/4 x is greater than negative 3. Now, what am I doing to both sides? Multiply by 4. So now you should be able to say x is greater than what? Negative 12. Now, in your mind, you don't have to write the number line. You're starting at what number? Are you starting at negative infinity or are you starting at negative 12?
Negative 12.
Negative 12. Thank you. And then I'm going to where? Infinity. That's how simple it is. And then none of them are equal to, so it's parentheses. Very simple, guys. Very, very simple. All right, let's knock out number 8 now. For number 8, just multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to come over here and do 5/4. That crosses out. X is greater than or equal to what? Negative 10. All right, again, 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. You're always allowed to use a calculator, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary. All right, now, where are we starting at? We're starting at -10. And we're going to where? We're going to infinity. So -10 requires a bracket, 8 parentheses. All right? That's it. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? All right, let's knock out number 10 real quick. First thing I got to do is what? Help me.
Plus 1.
Add 5. So everybody should be able to say -5 sevenths v is less than -5. Now we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is, don't forget the negative, right? So this crosses out. So now, when you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to do what? Flip the sign. Thank you. Greater than. 5 divided by 5 is 1 times 7 is 7. 2 negatives make a positive. All right, so again, v is greater than 7. So if you're greater than 7, you're starting at what number? 7 and going to infinity parentheses. All right, now we've done some examples. Now you're supposed to say, okay, I'm getting the hang of it. And if you're not getting the hang of it, you're supposed to say, I need some help. Anybody have any issues? Anybody have
I
any?
still don't understand why the infinity sign is there.
Who is asking me that?
Me,
Okay, me. Listen.
Jack.
Greater than 7 means from 7 to infinity. That's what that means. If you are greater than 7, the numbers are 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way to infinity. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, where do we start? We start at 7, and it's greater than 7. So anything greater than 7 means you're heading towards infinity. Is that a better explanation?
Yeah.
All right.
It depends on which way the sign is pointing. Okay.
Let's try 12, see how we're doing. All right. Now again, there's some decimals involved. If you need to, do something with the decimal or do something with your calculator, I'm okay with that. But Jake, what are we doing?
Plus 1.8.
Add 1.8.
1.8 is 0.6.
So I have 3x is greater than,
6.
what type of 0.6?
Negative.
Negative 0.6. Thank you.
And then I did.
Then after that, we are just what?
Dividing by 3.
Dividing by 3. So x is greater than,
Negative 0.2.
yes, x is greater than negative 0.2. Okay, so Jack, where am I starting at?
0.2.
0.2. Positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative 0.2. Don't forget the negative. And I'm going to where?
To x, which is bigger than it, so it's to positive infinity, I think.
Positive infinity. Comma, infinity. Now, are we equal to here?
No, so
No, we're not
that
equal to. That requires parentheses. All right? Any questions? All right, let's go. Continue. 14. Now on 14, the easiest thing to do is to move the x to the left. So I'd be subtracting x, which would make it what? Negative 8x is greater than or equal to negative 32. And now, of course, we're dividing by a negative. And when we divide by a negative, we're going to do what? Switch the signs. All right? So here we have x is what? Less than or equal to 4. Less than or equal to 4. Now, please pay attention, Jack. All right, remember you're reading numbers from left to right. So if I'm less than 4, I'm starting where? I'm starting at negative infinity. That is correct. I'm starting at negative infinity, and I'm running all the way to what? 4. Am I including 4? Yes. So it's a bracket. That bracket is related to that equal sign. So I'm going from negative infinity to 4. Negative infinity to 4. All right. Hopefully you guys are catching on now. All right. Anybody have any questions? Now, sometimes I tell kids, if you're ever having trouble, just go back to the number line, look at the number line, and then put the number line on the interval. Or put the interval on the number line. Whatever you want to look at. All right. Any questions with that? All right. Let's knock out 16. Let's go. Now here, guys, I just automatically distributed yesterday, but you guys are smarter. All right. I always say instead of distributing, if it's possible, we can do what? Just divide by 6. All right. Divide by 6 if you can. So in this case, we have 2x minus 8 is less than or equal to negative 2. Is everybody okay with that? Now, adding 8. So I have 2x is less than or equal to what? Help me. 6. And then dividing by 2 makes it x is less than or equal to 3. All right. Now, again, we should be getting better. You should be able to see things a little better now. All right. So if I have less than or equal to 3, negative infinity, all the way to what? 3. Bracket on 3, parentheses, negative infinity. I'm liking that. All right, yes.
What's like the meaning for the bracket and the infinity?
Bracket means including. Bracket means equal to. See, the problem is most kids don't understand. You can't. Infinity is not a number. It's just an idea. So you can't equal that idea. You can't equal infinity. But you can equal 4. So a 4 is a bracket. If there's not an equal to, they're just parentheses. All right, that's what I'm hoping you can tell me. Good on that? All right, here we go. Let's knock out 18. Now, for question number 18 now, guys, we got to distribute. All right, we got to distribute. All right, quickly now, let's go. When we're distributing, again, checking your work. All right, not writing down my answer. You're checking your work. Right, Miss Nelson? Negative 6x minus 12 greater than or equal to 3x minus 12. Subtracting 3 and adding 12. Uh-oh. Negative 9x is greater than or equal to 0. Now I have to divide by negative 9. So x, what happens to the sign? Switches. Less than or equal to, and 0 divided by anything is still what? 0. Again, less than or equal to 0. Less than or equal to 0. All right, if I am less than or equal to 0, I'm starting where? Negative infinity, and I'm heading to
0
with a bracket. Come on, guys. Alden, you with me?
Yes.
Lily, you good? All right, hopefully you realize there's nothing different from what we did yesterday and today except for the graphing part. That's it. And you're supposed to be getting better at solving equations. That's what the intent is. All right, so here we go. Let's knock out 20 now. All right, 20 is just combining terms. So what do I get there? 11r less than negative 77. So r is what? Less than negative 7. All right, do I switch the sign? No, we don't switch the sign. All right, so now interval notation would call for it to be from what to what? To brilliant. That is correct. All right, here we go. 22. Now, does everybody agree I can do the reciprocal, right? I don't want to distribute a fraction. So I'm going to get rid of this little piece right here for just a quick second so you can see. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. And what's the reciprocal? 8/5. So now 5 divided by 5 is 1 times 8. So 8 is less than or equal to x minus 3. So now what? Add 3. Okay, now I'm glad we're here. So we've got to talk about this. If 11 is less than or equal to x, we always want to write the variable first. So that means x is what? If 11 is less than x, that means x must be, yes, must be greater than or equal to 11. So if you just make a rotation there, right, you have to switch the sign. All right? Now, if x is greater than or equal to 11, that means we're starting at what? We're starting where? 11 and going to where? Infinity. Bracket? Where? 11. And then is everybody with me on this? Everybody good? All right. Now let's go to the next one. All right, let's go ahead and distribute the 4. Here we go. What?
You have to distribute there.
No, you're right. Let's do that since you saw it. All right. Listen, we can isolate this. All right. I do think it's important. All right. So if I wanted to, instead of, I could do what to the minus 10? Yeah, you can add 10. All right. Now again, that crosses that out. So now you have 4 parentheses x minus 1 equals 12. And then what do I do? Divide by 4. So x minus 1 is equal to what? 3. And so x equals, so that's not even an inequality. All right, so that's just a review problem. All right, it was my fault. That's a typo. I should have made this right here an inequality. Or I should have made it an inequality. What?
Why, wait, can you combine terms then?
Say that again?
You combine terms like negative 10 plus 4.
No, and the reason why you cannot, listen, that's a good question, and everybody tries to do that. There's order of operation involved. Multiplication comes before addition. So you cannot do negative 10 plus 4 and say that's 6. All right? All right, back on track here, guys. Let's take a look at number 26. All right, so again on 26, we just have to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to cross out the 3 over 2 and put 2 over 3 here. And so now x plus 2 is greater than what? What? I don't think so. What is it?
18.
No.
Negative,
Now you're right.
negative
8.
Yes, negative 8. No, he didn't. Oh, you may have. All right. You didn't say it loud enough because you probably thought you were wrong. All right.
Thank you. Probably.
So now, subtracting 2, x is greater than what?
Negative 10.
X is greater than negative 10. So where are we starting?
Negative
We're starting at negative 10 and going to infinity
10. And beyond.
and beyond. Easy as that. Any issues, right? That's easy now. All right, I think we got a couple more, right? So let's do 28 the way Jake likes to do it. We're going to do what first, guys? Everybody? Add 3 and then divide by 2 is correct. And then what?
Add
Add 3. And that becomes
X is less than or equal to
what? Less than or equal to what?
8.
Right? X is less than or equal to 8. Anybody have any issues? All right. So now, interval notation would mean we're starting at what?
Negative.
Negative infinity, and we're going to bracket
Yep.
where?
On the 8.
Still good? Guys, remember I say every day I'm trying to, you know, I know it's annoying, the face mask and stuff, but if you're not understanding, you got to tell me. Anybody have any questions? All right, let's check out 30. Is that the last one? All right, 30 is
Yeah.
the last one. That's a good job, guys. Okay, now do you agree, Jake, we can't really do it here, right?
Yeah.
Right, because there's X's and numbers. So distribute the 3, guys. Here we go. Combining terms, right? Now, when you're adding 18, that becomes
0.
right. And so now we just say X is
0.
less than or equal to 0. Which means I'm starting where?
Negative.
And going to
0.
0.
Bracket.
Guys, I'm pretty happy with that. All right, Jack, hopefully I cleared things up for you, buddy.
Yeah, it was just a little bit confusing.
All right, though.
Fine.
All right. Now, guys, I'm pretty happy with that. All right, I'm actually happy with you guys. Homework-wise, pretty good job for today. So what I want tonight now, guys, is knock out the odds. All right, everybody knock out the odds. All right, and we have a few more minutes, right? What time's the bell ring? Yeah, so you got 9 minutes, guys. Take some time, do the odds, get as much work as you can done right now. Really, really good job today, guys. I appreciate it. All right. All right, my homeschool peeps, you guys have a great rest of the day, okay? Now, the only other thing here, listen, Mr. Pico, I'm not sure you can have that screensaver up.
Okay.
You hear me? I'm not trying to be a pain, but someone was in here taking pictures today. All right, I just doesn't look good if you have that up.
Okay. All right.
All right, please. You know, I don't want to give you a hard time. I know you don't mean anything by it, but let's not have that up anymore, okay?
All right.
All right, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate everybody. You guys have a great day.
All right. Bye, Mr. Stroud. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll see you guys tomorrow now.
Bye, Mr. Chow.
See you guys. Take care. Be safe. Bye-bye.